Hey guys, RBS 14. RBS 14. Indian in the Cupboard. The Indian in the Cupboard Part 2. Words, since they'd been given out 4 days ago. Now he closed his eyes and unwished the test pass. And wished instead that this little twisted key would turn Gillen's prison into a secret cupboard. The key turned smoothly in the lock. The door wouldn't open. "Hey, Mom, I found one. Have you, darling?" "Which one?" His mother came to look. "Oh, that one? How very odd. That was the key to my grandmother's jewel box that she got from Florence. It was made of red leather, and it fell into bits at last. But she kept the key and gave it to me. She was most terrible poor when she died. She was most terribly poor, kept key and gave it to me. She was most terribly poor when she died. Poor old sweetie, and kept crying because she had nothing to leave me. So in the end, I said I'd rather have this little key than all the jewels in the world." I threaded it on that bit of ribbon. It was much longer than, and hung it around my neck, and told her I'd always wear it and remember her. And I did for a long time, but then the ribbon broke and I nearly lost it. "You could have got a chain for it," said Omri. She looked at him. "You're right," she said. "I should have done just that, but I didn't. And now it's yours. Cupboard key. Please don't lose it, Omri, will you?" Omri put the cupboard on his bedside table, and opening it, looked inside thoughtfully. What would he put in it? "It's supposed to be for medicines," said Gillen. "You could keep your nose drops in it." "No, that's just wasting it. Besides, I haven't any other medicines." "Why don't you pop this in?" His mother suggested, and opened her hand. And it was Patrick's Indian. "I found it when I was putting your trousers in the washing machine." Omri carefully stood the Indian on the shelf. "Are you going to shut the door?" asked his mother. "Yes, and lock it." He did this, and then he kissed his mother, and she turned the light out, and he lay down on his side looking at the cupboard. He felt very content. Just as he was dropping off to sleep, his eyes snapped open. He had thought he heard a little noise. But no, all was quiet. His eyes closed again. In the morning, there was no doubt about it. The noise actually woke him. He lay perfectly still in the dawn light, staring at the cupboard, from which was now coming a most extraordinary series of sound. A pattering, a tapping, a scrabbling, and surely a high-pitched noise almost like a tiny voice. To be truthful, Omri was petrified. Who would it be? Who wouldn't be? Undoubtedly, there was something alive in that cupboard. At last, he put out his hand and touched it. He pulled very carefully. The door was shut tight. But as he pulled, the cupboard moved just slightly. The noise from the inside instantly stopped. He lay still for a long time, wondering had he imagined it. The noise did not start again. At last, he cautiously turned the key and opened the cupboard door. The Indian was gone. Omri sat up sharply in the bed and peered into the dark corners. Suddenly he saw him, but he wasn't on the shelf anymore. He was in the bottom of the cupboard, and he wasn't standing upright. He was crouching in the darkest corner, half hidden by the front of the cupboard, and he was alive. Omri knew that immediately. To begin with, the Indian was trying to keep perfectly still as Omri had kept lying in bed a moment ago. He was breathing heavily. His bare, brown shoulders rose and fell, and were shiny with sweat. The single feather sticking out of the back of his head band quivered. As if the Indian were trembling. And his Omri peered closer, and his breast fell on the tiny huddled figure. He saw it jump to its feet. Its minute and a half made a sudden, darting movement toward its belt, and came to the rest, clutching the handle of a knife, smaller than the shaft of a tack. Neither Omri nor the Indian moved for perhaps a minute and a half. They hardly breathed either. They just stared at each other. The Indian's eyes were black and fierce and frightened. His lips were drawn back from shiny white teeth. So small you could scarcely see them except when they caught the light. He stood pressed against the inside wall of the cupboard, clutching his knife, rigid with terror but defiant. The first coherent thought that came into Omri's mind as he began to get over the shock was I must call the others. I must call the others. Alright, this is the end of part 2. Later. Peace.